Hi guys! So today I'm gonna make some Grape Nuts Orange Muffins. They come from the book Kate Smith's Breakfast book, which was published in 1941, and it was sponsored by Post, so like every single recipe basically has some kind of like, oh, Post cereal. Well, not every recipe, but like a lot of them. So you get some kind of wacky recipes like this one that have like cereal in them, like baked into muffins and stuff. So I wanted to try this. It seems really interesting, really unusual, because there's grape nuts in it. Like, what? Alright, so first we need 2 cups of sifted flour. Now, the recipe says sift flour once, measure, and then we're going to add the other dry ingredients and sift again. What I always like to do, though, and if I recall correctly, this is what they taught me in my cooking class in high school. Class, I say as if I only took one. I took multiple classes. I took it for 3 years in high school. What I like to do is I measure first, but I measure a little bit over what I need, and I keep it loose. You see, like, I'm not packing it down. So that's 1 cup. Getting flour everywhere. Story of my life. Did that at the restaurant today when I was making bread. Yeah, I got to actually do some cooking today. Woo! Wasn't just washing dishes and doing that stuff. So I measured out, keep it loose, do a little bit over what I'm supposed to do, sift, and then we measure again to make sure that it's the same amount. So while I'm doing this, I'm going to talk to you guys because originally my video for this week, my plan, best laid plan, what's the saying, like best laid plans of mice and men or something? I don't know. But like basically I was going to do my, oh man, I should have gotten a second bowl to put the sifted flour into. But I was going to do a dessert because first of all, I had gotten a request for dessert. And secondly, the request actually like naturally fit in with what, oh, I do have a bowl over here, with what I was doing already in this series, because my first video was appetizers, my second video was an entree, so like dessert would be a natural next progression, and then after that I would do breakfast. So this was going to be next week's video, but I was having trouble finding, like, for some reason, like, having trouble finding dessert recipes that I really, really wanted to do, that, like, inspired me, that excited me, or whatever. Because, like, one of the themes of this series, as I'm sure you've probably noticed by now, is, like, I'm really enjoying doing weird recipes, right? Stuff that's unusual. Muffins with grape nuts in them, with cereal in them, and a pecan and rice loaf, and weird appetizers from the time period and stuff. But, like, I don't know, I was having trouble finding any, I guess, desserts that really kind of fit the theme that I've been working with so far. So I I decided to do the breakfast video this week and give myself a little bit more time to look at dessert recipes, and for this one I might even end up using a recipe that I find online instead of one from one of my cookbooks, or maybe I'll decide to do like some kind of weird eggless, sugarless, or whatever thing from one of my cookbooks. I don't know. But I do still intend to do that video because it interests me. I just need to find a recipe that interests me, I guess. Alright. Then we're going to add 3 teaspoons of baking powder. Now, the recipe calls for Calumet baking powder, but I'm using generic because I'm poor. 1. 3. And salt, 1/2 teaspoon. Like I said in the last video, baking is one of the areas where I actually do use measurements for like spices and whatnot, seasonings and all of that, because I mean, baking's kind of a little bit more of a science. But, you know, also, I'm sorry, I'm getting off topic. What's great about science is experimentation, right? Come on, I have a 2/3 cup. Alright, and then we're going to be doing 2/3 cup of sugar. You know, when I say, like, science and experimentation and stuff, yeah, like, the measurements themselves for our restaurant's bread recipe I followed, but I kind of had to experiment with, like, timing, the amount of time I let the yeast bloom, the amount of time that I had it getting mixed on different settings, the amount of time that I let it rise. I kind of had to do some experimentation with those steps to get it right. Alright. And then, got 3/4. So it is 3/4 of a cup of orange juice. I'll do it this way. And 2 well-beaten eggs. I love how everything says, like, well-beaten eggs. Like, you don't want your eggs to be poorly beaten. That would be quite a recipe, wouldn't it? And then I'm gonna do 1 tablespoon grated orange rind. Okay, let's... This isn't very good at this. I've used this grater before, but never for, like, citrus peel. So I had no idea how it would, like, react. It's kind of mushing it. I don't don't know if I'm gonna get a tablespoon out of this. Oh no. I might have to check back with you guys. Yeah, okay. Okay, so I eventually did get a tablespoon of rind. It took a little bit more time and effort than I might have liked, which goes to show that I really do need to start getting more good cooking utensils. I have all kinds of stuff that I use at the restaurant and whatnot, but like at home, I don't know, I'm poor. It's stuff that I have to buy with my own money, you know? Alright. I've got my 2 well-beaten eggs, and my 3/4 of a cup of orange juice, and my 1 tablespoon of grated orange rind in here. And then I am going to add 2 tablespoons of melted shortening, because a lot of times back then, recipes would call for shortening instead of butter, or they'd call for like margarine, or just use whatever the fuck you have, basically. Because butter was rationed. I mean, I've even seen recipes that use like bacon fat or chicken fat in like desserts, in cookies and stuff like that. Alright. So, now I'm going to add this to the flour mixture. And I'm going to mix it up. And then I'm going to add my 1 cup of grape nuts. And the grape nuts, like looking at those right now, some shit's getting real for me, because I decided, since I have this box of grape nuts that I bought for this, not only am I going to use it in this recipe, and of course I'm going to eat the leftovers with milk, but not all with milk, if that makes any sense. I'm trying not to spoil you guys for, like, a later aspect of this video, because Kate Smith's breakfast book gets kind of wacky at points, well, obviously. But there's a suggestion that I'm not super excited about, but I'm gonna do it anyway, because it's weird. Alright, now I'm adding my cup of grape nuts. Okay, that looks really interesting. Wow. I'll show you guys in a second here. I don't know if you can see the details, like the orange rind, you can see little bits of that, you can see the grape nut chunks, or at least I can, because I'm in real life. Alright. Then your greased muffin tins. You guys are gonna hate me, because after I went on and on last week about historical accuracy and like using melted butter or shortening instead of modern spray to stay true to the recipe, this week I just used modern cooking spray to grease my muffin tin, but whatever. If you have it, use it, right? Actually, in some of the publications I've read, they give like really specific, and in my opinion, kind of cool, because reduce, reuse, recycle, ways of greasing your pans and tins and stuff. Because like some of the stuff I've read suggests using the butter that's stuck to your butter wrappers to grease, to grease your pans. And like that, butter otherwise would have just been stuck to the paper and gotten thrown away, but it's still kind of usable, right? So just, like, when you're out of your butter, there's still that tiny bit on the paper, so just use the paper to grease your stuff. And my oven's preheated to 425 degrees Fahrenheit. So I'm gonna pop these into there. And after that, I'll check back when it's done. Alright. Yep, check back when it's done. Alright, you guys, this is the finished product, and my kitchen smells really good right now. I'm gonna try it. I'm actually excited for this. It's really interesting. The grape nuts actually add some crunch to it, and you can definitely taste the orange. Speaking of tasting orange, like I said, I have my grape nuts and I have my orange juice, so I'm gonna try another recipe from it. I'm gonna read it to you because I want you to know exactly what it says. It says, serve grape nuts. Grape nuts flakes, post toasties, post 40% bran flakes, or whole bran shreds with fruit juice instead of milk or cream. Pineapple juice, orange juice, or other fruit juice may be used. So, yeah, since I have this orange juice, I'm gonna try some grape nuts with orange juice. I don't know why this is making me nervous, like, I guess because it's something different, but the deviled ham was different, and it wasn't bad to me. Then again, the pecan, what's it called? The pecan anchovy paste stuff was really gross. But the pecan loaf was good, but I don't know. Cereal with fruit juice instead of milk. It looks gross. It looks really gross. Let's see how it tastes. That actually doesn't taste bad. I don't know if I would be saying the same thing if it was a different kind of orange juice. I mean, a different kind of juice. Like if I used, like, maybe some of that pineapple juice they suggested instead. But actually, orange juice and grape nuts doesn't taste bad. Does look pretty gross, though. Anyway, that's my video for this week. Maybe I'll do dessert next week. Or if I'm still not feeling inspiration, then you'll get the lunch video. Alright, see you guys later.